All right. Let's break the ice. What's your biggest fear?
Are you serious right now?
What's your biggest fear?
Wow. That's like as an icebreaker.
I mean, that's a
dude.
whole episode.
Your biggest fear is like
Next episode. What's your biggest fear? Like,
I'll tell you what. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Biggest fear
What do you
next
think?
episode.
yeah,
There it is.
that's a good
We got it.
icebreaker,
Come
but
on.
that's a big.
Okay.
That's a big.
So I'll just throw one out there.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. If you could do anything tomorrow that you wanted to, what would you do?
Go to New Zealand.
Go to New Zealand.
Spend my lottery winnings.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, there's a big lottery.
By the
out there.
time this podcast airs, like 3 weeks ago,
I
there
will have
was
been
a
a
massive
multi-billionaire.
billion-dollar lottery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you gotta play to win, and
You do
That's
have to
true.
play to win.
I don't have a ticket, so
no.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I could do anything I wanted tomorrow,
Yeah.
You can do
That's
anything you want
question.
tomorrow.
Comb your hair.
Oh, wow, man!
This is how many ball jokes from you today? How many?
Dude.
You will not
None of
have
them have
seen
been
it
good.
on the
No,
podcast,
that's
but
true.
there's been many ball jokes leading up to this one
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
Wow. But he's right though, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Next week we're only gonna have
That's
3 people on
comedy.
the podcast.
Lee, we're gonna miss you.
Comedy gold. Oh man. Y'all tuned into a good one today.
Fire burner.
What are you gonna do? What are you
If
gonna
I could do whatever I wanted tomorrow,
do whatever you want tomorrow.
sleep.
Just sleep.
Yeah.
He just answered. He answered for like 50% of adults right now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna take a nap. Like
Yeah.
Not
that's
do
my.
anything.
Oh.
I'm gonna sit on my couch.
If I could do anything,
Yeah.
man, you know what I really want to do? I want to find like the world's greatest escape room
Oh,
and go do that.
I
That
was
would be
literally
fun.
just
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about that. Me and my wife were talking about doing another one because she was texting
Yeah.
me. She worked one today and she's like, "We got to do one again." So
She worked one? Like
Yeah.
as she went and did one, or she
no, she
was-
worked it. Like helped, like
Like,
hand out the
they
clues,
did
make sure they got everything they need.
What? Where is that?
At the college?
Oh, at the college. Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
Yeah. I think
That's
that'd
awesome.
be fun. Find like whatever
The
the
best
greatest one in the world is and go do that one.
I bet you it's in the UK
Yeah, maybe.
because they go extra on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They literally
It's-
just lock you in and be
They
like,
do.
It's
get out.
probably in some backwater Southeast Asian country,
Very
and
possibly.
it's your life
and it
that's
is,
on the line.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably really life or death.
Yeah.
If you don't get out,
Correct, this escape room. That's what
if you don't get out,
advertised.
you go to North Korea.
Wow.
What?
One door goes into North Korea, one door goes into South Korea.
There you
and you
go.
got to figure it out.
Escape room.
And it's
Guys,
located in a minefield.
Guys,
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna get canceled. Yes.
no, if we were going to, it'd have been a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
All
True.
right. Yeah.
Well, all right,
Are you
Eric.
talking about the child numbler?
You brought it up again. No.
Oh, man.
And with that,
Beep, 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 beep.
Welcome to the podcast.
Wow.
Welcome to the podcast.
climbing a rope in gym, passing notes in class, dressing up for prom, failing the big
I
test.
could do that.
We all have memories of our formative years in education. Attention, class. Today, we are talking about our memories of school.
Oh yeah, we're going back to school.
So,
doing the Shula.
Where did
Yeah.
you guys go to school?
Like-
you want to go ahead?
Well, I need
Raymond.
to specifically like what.
I don't know. Any.
Let's
Because
preface
I was
this
in
with-
three different
let's preface
ones.
this
Yeah.
with like school's like literally just about to start. So that's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
It's
sense.
back to
Makes sense.
school.
Yeah. I technically, actually, now that I think about it, I technically went to 4 schools. So I'm thinking, do you want me to hone
Did
in on
you learn
elementary,
anything?
middle school? Like they're all different. So
Did you learn anything in any of them?
no,
Okay.
no one ever did.
Which one did you learn the most at? Say that one.
That took too long to answer.
Wow. Yeah.
My bad. I learned way more outside of school than I did in school. I'm gonna be honest. Like I
Sure.
really did.
Yeah. Let's do high school.
Yeah,
Where'd you
high
go to
school.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably
That-
art. I did art class all
No,
4 years.
Where did you go?
to
Where did
high
you
school?
go?
You said,
Not
did you
what
learn
take?
anything?
Oh, well,
Yeah, but I was saying, where did you go to school? And you were like, which one? There's 4 schools.
I
I'm like
know,
the
but
one
then,
that you picked the
but then
most
you
of.
changed direction. Y'all back me up out there listening right now because
Alright.
he
Okay,
did
so
change
he was
we're-
trying to
direction.
get you to the first answer.
High school.
But,
Which
yeah,
high
so
school
high
did you
school.
go
Where'd
to?
you go to
That's
high
what
school?
we're asking.
I went to Brazos Wood and Brazos Port.
Split.
You split
I'm
it?
sorry.
Yeah, there was classes they didn't offer at Bewood, so I
Oh,
graduated from
okay.
Bewood. So I am Bewood alumni, but I went to Bport for about three classes,
Brazos
for,
AutoCAD and whatever.
for several years because AutoCAD, environmentals,
Yeah.
there was
Mm.
economics,
Auto mechanics.
something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So those kind of classes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
where I went. That took a long time to get there, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll have to edit that out.
Yeah.
No, that's staying in. Yeah.
We'll just put it on 5 times speed.
Yeah.
B-Wood, B-Port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Enrique.
All right.
I graduated from Brazos Wood.
Brazos Wood.
The wood.
The wood. Yeah.
We would.
Go Bucks.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. They're the Bucks.
We gotta say
the
the
Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
not
the Buccaneers.
Bucks because
Oh no,
yeah.
like that was the thing. That's what
Yeah,
you
we
said.
all
Well, you
call
say
them
go
Bucks.
Bucks, but yeah, they're the Buccaneers.
Bucks
yeah.
could also be deer, and so
Yeah.
I actually was near Deer Park High School, and there were the Bucks.
Is that where you graduated from?
No.
Okay.
But I was near there. We went to the rival school.
Anyway,
Anyway,
for those of you who are confused right now, I'm not talking about deer.
yeah, there
Talking
you go.
about Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Pirates.
Yes.
Yes.
We're talking about a nickname for a longer name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We made that part longer too.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this whole thing.
Sweetwater
yeah.
is where I went to high school, and is the Mighty Mustangs. Yeah.
The Mighty Mustangs.
Yeah.
Mighty
nice.
Mustangs.
I'm
yeah.
always upset with that because Sweetwater is known for being the rattlesnake capital.
They
Yep.
should have been the
And
rattlesnake.
You
they
would
should have
think
been
the
the
rattlesnakes.
rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
It's
no.
not. It's Mustangs.
Yeah.
pit
I think that I know
vipers.
why they chose
Totally.
the Mustangs though. Because Mustangs are
Run
really
away
good
from-
at they stomp on rattlesnakes.
Or maybe.
They got a
Yeah.
temperament, man. I'm trying to make it make sense, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, making.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
drag it out.
was Mustangs from
Let's
elementary
beat this
all the way
dead
up.
horse.
You were the Colts, and you were the Mustangs,
Uh-huh.
and the Lady Stings. I mean, it was all
Lady
Mustangs.
Stings.
I know that
Stings.
sounds weird. Lady Stings.
Let it stand.
Let it stand.
Lady Stang.
We need to move
Yeah,
on.
go ahead.
Sounds like
What
you're
you got?
talking about something inappropriate.
Well, it wasn't the Bucks.
So, my freshman year, I went to LaPorte High School,
Mhm.
and we were the Bulldogs. And then then we transferred. I went to a Christian school that no longer exists. I don't even remember what.
You're probably Eagles, weren't you?
no.
Okay.
I don't even remember what it was.
Almost every
honestly.
He
Christian school
was
is the
the
Eagles.
Holy Ghost.
That or
The Holy Ghost. There you go.
The Lions. That's another.
And they
Christian
just,
school,
they
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you know how
I don't
like a
even
lot
remember.
of, you know, like a lot of high schools just like rip off logos from like other
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
So his was like the Holy Ghost, but his was
The ghost from like Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
the Holy
That was
Ghost,
the-
the Ghost,
Yeah.
Pac-Man
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But it didn't even exist anymore. It was Heritage Christian School, and then went to Angleton High School, and that's where I graduated. And
Cougar.
that's 3 different high schools, dude.
the Wildcats.
Wildcats.
Yeah.
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Purple are their
Yeah.
their
purple,
color.
purple are
Yeah.
their color. Yes,
Are their color because they only have one.
Yep.
Most high schools have kind of a spread of 3, but they were just
plethora.
purple.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
If you wore anything
Sweetwater's
else, you were
red.
actually kicked out of the school.
Red and white.
Red and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to have an away and a home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Red and white.
I think
Is
it's
it?
purple and white or something. I don't know. Who
Well,
cares?
their uniforms
Who
are
cares?
purple and white. Yeah. I do know
Well,
that.
apparently,
Go
the
Eagles.
Wildcats.
That's why I
care.
say
Go Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah, because you are now presently at
I'm Brazosport Christian School,
Yeah.
and
who happen to be
the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
their slogan.
Someone
right?
could-
No,
Eagle.
that's not an eagle.
That's not an eagle. Kaka is not an eagle.
Have
We
you
can-
never
we can
watched
debate.
Scrubs when he jumps on his back? He's like, Eagle!
Yeah, but you don't want me doing the eagle sound because
No.
then I'll break the microphone.
Okay.
All
You
right.
just
Which
have
is a
to-
great
you have to make the
segue
movement,
into-
and then, yeah,
Who was your best and worst teacher?
See,
Yeah.
this is not your gift.
best
Stand
and worst
to have
teacher.
Stay in your lane, Eric.
I was trying to move
Stay
things
in your
along.
lane,
We
man.
were so stuck. I'm like, come on.
anybody who has to announce the segue
Eric?
as a segue is
Eric
It's
has
not
no
great.
school spirit, and he's just like, no,
let's get out of here.
move.
Oh my gosh.
Best and worst teacher. You don't have to give both. Or
yeah,
you could blast him if you want.
I'm blasted.
Okay.
Go, Lee.
I think Lee's going to start us.
It was actually in college. The worst teacher I ever had. I had some bad teachers over the years. They were doing their best, but yeah. But this lady needed to find another profession. Her name was Miss Chang, but it was spelled Chuang because she was from Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you asked a question, every answer she ever had in her life started with no.
Yeah.
So I would be asked a question, excuse me, Miss Chang. No. Yes. I'd be like, huh? and so she would say, and so like one time we were studying for a big test and it was a comm theory class. And I'm like, okay, the book says one thing. You wrote everything on a overhead and you told us that it's going to be on the test. But they both said something completely different in one section. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not arguing with you. I just need to know which one's going to be on the test. No. They're neither one of them going to be on the test? No. They are both going to be on the test. But it says something different. No. And I was like, and everybody in the class is like, no, Miss Chang, what he's saying is, and they try to explain, and she goes, no. To everybody.
No was her
No.
That was her
like, yeah. And exactly. It was her And so she's like, no, this
Miss
says
Chang,
this.
do you know what you're doing? No.
No. Exactly right. And so I went that day and dropped the class.
Yeah.
And by the next semester, she was gone. So I'm not saying, I'm sure she's a wonderful lady. I'm not saying
Well, I
anything
bet
bad
what
about
happened
her.
is they said, hey, do you want to teach again next
And
year?
she said,
no.
Yeah.
Are you going to come back next semester?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I have a similar experience. It was also college for my worst teaching experience. And we're in, a math course, which in math, most people usually you have to ask questions and kind of gauge the formulas you're using and figure out the right order for things, right? You got to ask questions in math. That's just, not everybody. I did. But we had this teacher, and I'm not going to name him or anything like that, but because I'm pretty sure he still works there.
Math department.
Yeah.
B-word.
So he wasn't, his first language
Or
was
B-port.
not English.
Or B-port.
So English was a second language. So he had a very thick accent, which made things difficult. But then on top of that, he also went through kind of a medical scare where he had a seizure. And the result of that seizure left half of his face paralyzed.
Oh, wow.
I
And
know who you're talking about.
So with that,
of course.
his
Everybody knows now. You might as well just say
his
his name.
speech was
Yeah. Mhm.
really, really,
It's
really,
really hard,
really
yeah.
difficult to understand. But then that wasn't even the worst part, because sometimes you can get around that as long as you just persevere and like what you ask and continue. But the problem was he did not allow questions. So he taught his lesson from beginning to end of the class, just up there talking and writing on the board nonstop.
Yep.
And if you raise your hand, no, put it down. No questions. Into class questions. Guess what happened? We never had an end to class because he would teach until the bell or whatever rang, and we were
Yeah.
legally had to leave, you know? And so like I did the same thing. I left and just dropped the class because I was like, I cannot.
If it's
do
the
that
person
way.
I'm thinking of,
It is. He's famous around here.
one side of his face, because he'd had the seizure or stroke kind of thing,
Yep.
did not move.
Yes.
And that was the side that faced the people.
Yes.
And
Because he
so-
stood sideways to write on the
Yeah,
board,
when he
and
wrote.
you couldn't tell. You couldn't even
Yeah.
read lips.
So you couldn't. Yeah. I know exactly.
And
what you're talking
again,
about.
I will say,
Yeah.
like you said, she's probably a nice lady. He's probably a great guy outside the classroom,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
just did not work for a learning environment.
Yeah,
Right.
I took that class.
Yeah.
And if I had not already known
Mm-hmm.
that subject,
Yep.
because I did it in the military, and
I'm pretty sure it was just college algebra, right?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Mhm.
coming in, they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, you've been out of school too long. You have to take these basic classes." And I'm like, "Dude, I just did like nuclear theory."
Yeah, I
and
know.
What year
whatnot.
was this?
That would have been
2011.
yeah, like yeah. I got told I had to do that class, and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I already knew how to do it. If I did
Yeah.
not, that would have been a terrible class for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally understand.
For sure.
Yeah.
I struggle in the maths.
I do
I
too.
don't know about y'all.
Yeah,
The
I have
maths.
dyscalculia, or another easier way to put it is numerical dyslexia. So
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, that was always a struggle for sure.
Yeah.
I like math.
I need somebody who can speak
That's just
very
me thinking.
clearly. Oh man.
Yeah. All right. I think it's you, Eric.
Oh, I don't remember his name, but he was my college professor.
Mhm.
Who I guess we're going to go college as well. It was government.
Mm.
Yeah.
Most monotone, monotone professor I've ever had in my entire life. He would give you like the syllabus. This is what I'm going to teach, and then he would start talking, and it was always monotone. It was about what was going on in the government.
Is it the dry eye guy kind of feel?
It was like that, but I would have appreciated that.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was bad. It was one of those things where he would get towards the end of class after we are like our hands are cramping from taking so much notes, and then he'd be like, "But none of that's on the test."
Lovely.
You're like,
Lovely.
oh, he was just talking about what was happening in government.
Yeah.
He was just talking. It
Yeah.
was almost like I need someone to talk about government stuff with, and he
So
just
you-
chose the class to do so.
So you had one of those teachers where
Yeah.
really they just got up there and talked while
Yeah.
you had to learn in your book by yourself.
Well, I would learn more in the last 5 to 10 minutes because
Yeah.
he would realize what time it was, and then be like, "Okay, this is what you need to know." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
Brutal.
that would have been
Yeah.
information we could have known earlier."
Yeah.
No
yeah.
doubt.
For
It was a
sure.
brutal class.
Mhm.
I feel, it's kind of funny. I feel like we're all pessimists because we were given an option to go best and or worst.
I want to say
Oh,
my
I got
best
best
real
as
quick.
well.
I've got two best real
Yeah.
quick.
Okay.
Bill Huey, who has since passed away, was an amazing
I had-
drama teacher.
Okay.
And Miss Cranston was also a great drama teacher. And those were probably my two favorite teachers. Anyway,
Two
go ahead.
favorite teachers. Okay.
Best.
Everybody else is giving a bad experience. I'll give a bad experience. I actually had thought about that.
Yeah, the same
But
guy.
again, the class wasn't that bad for me because
Because you already knew.
I
it.
already knew it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was a blow off class for me. But
I can't ever imagine math being a blow off.
it seriously was. I
Mm-mm.
didn't even go the last 3 weeks of
Wow.
class, and I finished that class with like 140%.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy's also the one in our books podcast that read like 80 books in 1 year. So
Well, again, it was algebra, and like I just spent the last 5 years
Doing algebra.
way more than that. Like so,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just
but-
jealous.
And he just offers all kind of extra
Mhm.
credit because
He
he
does.
knew.
Yep.
He knew that
He
it was
knew he was a
difficult.
bad
Yeah,
teacher.
so
Yeah.
anyway, but I'll give one from high school.
It's a good one, Lee.
There was a class. I won't say the guy's name, as I think none of us have said the name of the bad person.
I did.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
You're like,
spelled it out.
it's like if you're listening, it's you.
Yeah.
No. There was a guy he taught, and anybody that actually knows me will know who this person is. Taught physics, but he was not a physics guy. He was a geologist,
Mm.
Oh,
and he
wow.
was just teaching because that was the spot that was open, and so he took the physics class. He would literally come into class and say, "All right, your homework here. This is your homework.
Uh-huh.
Figure it out."
Wow.
And that's it. Like we wouldn't do
Yeah.
anything in class. Then he would take like the past year's AP tests and he would just hand them out. And he's like, "Do this."
Wow.
And so there was no teaching. We did get to do a few fun projects like hovercraft things or whatever. But I felt like it was mostly just because he was bored.
Mm.
He was like, "All right, we're gonna go do this." But yeah, he never actually taught anything. The only
That's
way
crazy.
I learned in that class was I would look at the answers in the back of the book, figure out how to do it, and then do it based off of that. And then before class, a bunch of us would meet up and we'd all share the answers
Yeah.
and then turn them in. Like that was it.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
there
was
no-
back whenever you still had textbooks and the back of the book had all the formulas and answers.
So
and
there was
everything.
no he years later, I'm pretty sure, was asked to step down. Not
wonder
because
why.
he was such a bad teacher,
It's a head scratcher.
but because he had some, I think, inappropriate relationships.
Goodness gracious.
How?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who was like, this guy?
This is the guy.
This is
Stop.
the guy.
You know that's not the question we should be asking.
Yeah, I know.
No, but
it's
I'm
not.
sorry. I just it
For
came
me,
up.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure,
I
at
think
least
you
the way
just
I heard it.
won the worst teacher award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had an inappropriate relations with
Hey,
students.
That does do it.
To
Yeah.
remedy all
Worst-
of the
worst teacher
you know,
award.
worst teacher stuff, you know.
I'll give a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So I think I've talked about this person before. two people actually. The Hucks, they were my band directors.
Yep.
I spent a lot of time just at their house, getting to know them. I still do stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was, I don't know how many years ago I was in high school. That was like 23 years ago, something like that.
Holy cow, you're old.
I know, I'm super old. Super old. But yeah, great teachers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a couple more, like not great teachers, but almost everybody else were really great people, and I had a great time learning. So
Yeah.
I don't have anybody else to list as bad. So if I didn't list you, hey, congratulations, you did a great job.
You made it.
Or you
Yeah.
just don't remember them.
My favorite teacher was my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Blake. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Like he
That's
made
a cool name.
Yeah, he made, like, I learned so much in that class. So much. He was such a great teacher. Like, it didn't matter what subject he was teaching, excuse me, or that we were learning rather.
Mhm.
Man, he had a way to connect everybody to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
I think that's such a big thing about it being a teacher. And I know we have multiple people in here that are teachers. Part of the job of teacher is to teach how to learn. Like, it's not even necessarily that you are teaching
Yeah.
like that particular subject. I mean, yes, you are, because that's what they're in there. But you're showing a student, like, this is how you do it in life. Like, this
Right.
is, and that's a big part of that. And that jumps, different subjects. And
Yeah. I was thinking, as you just mentioned that guy, I do want to shout out one dude that was in my senior year. So we were doing English 4, I think is the appropriate English for seniors. But there's a guy named Mr. Jameson that was pretty well known around.
That's a rad name.
And
Jameson.
yeah, he was also bald. So
Had a good haircut.
cool teachers often are, I guess. But Mr. Jameson was teacher of the year several years in a row because he did what you said. Like, it wasn't necessarily about the information, because he was teaching English 4. So we're learning like Shakespeare and like mnemonics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't super interesting stuff, but he made it the most interesting thing in the world. Like, he did the thing from like, what is the,
Did you jump up on the table
He
and
did.
you're like, Captain, my captain?
yes. Yeah. He did the whole thing.
Did Post Society.
We sang to learn comparative words, like maverick is a rebel, like that kind of stuff. Like, so now I know that anybody who's a maverick is a rebel, like those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like he did all that, and he encouraged us to bring our talents to the class to learn and help other people learn with our
That's really
talents.
cool.
And so, yeah, he always stuck around in my head because he was so energized about what he did. And then you later find out that he also had some really hard stuff going on in his personal life, but he never let it show at school because he wanted to make sure that you were the most important thing in front of him that day.
Man, that's
And
awesome.
so,
Yeah,
I will shout that guy out because it was pretty awesome what he did in that classroom.
Yeah.
Worst segue ever.
That was funny.
I thought he was going to start the whole thing with a segue.
like
I
that.
like he's like, and let me just say, and I thought it was a segue. And it was like,
yeah.
like, that's not a segue.
No, I wasn't segueing at all.
I know.
So
not
that
at all.
segue
but
was
yeah, I
funny.
like,
Hey,
but
here we go.
let's talk
Speaking
about-
of embarrassing moments,
Wow.
let's
Worst
go most embarrassing or
segue
funniest
ever
moments
to
in
my
school.
worst segue.
Yeah, so let me clarify what's going on here for our listeners who are super confused right now. I believe it was last podcast.
We all
If you
tried
heard,
segues.
I did
Yeah.
a segue, and it was really smooth.
was
And
right.
then,
And then I
Lee
ruined it.
called it out as being a smooth segue, so it ruined it. Then Eric tried a segue.
No.
It was-
I didn't even try.
He didn't even
I
try.
just,
He
I didn't
literally
care.
called out
We're
segue.
just gonna go segue.
And it happened again just now. And
Yeah.
the bridge between best and worst teacher that was really interesting that we were just talking about is
Yeah.
now being brutally transitioned into most embarrassing or funniest moments in school. So that's where we're at in
Yeah.
this podcast
Here
journey.
we
man, that reminded me of your Mark moment.
Yeah, no
Yeah, it
kidding.
was- it was
Like-
that bad.
Yeah, it's brutal right
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I
guys.
heard some
So what you
crickets
got?
chirping.
Embarrassing or funniest moment?
8th grade, hands down.
Yeah.
My youth minister used to come and visit us at lunch.
Mhm.
As
It
they
was
should.
like once a week. He would come hang out with us, and so students all over the area. So he would go to different campuses at different times, I guess. So here we are. I'm in middle school, and he showed up. I'm like, "Yes, Tim, you're here. This is awesome." And he's like, "Where are you all at?" I'm like, "We're all over there." So I turn around, and then I find myself lifting up into the air because as I turned around, he grabbed my underwear and curled me, giving me the
Your
biggest
youth
wedgie.
pastor?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
cafeteria.
What?
He curled me by my drawers in front of everybody, got in everybody in the cafeteria. And I was like, what is happening? I just remember flailing, and then he sat me down and I was like, why?
I'm going to have to correct you. That was a preacher curl.
I'll take it. I mean, to this day, it's something I'll never forget. I don't know what happened, what prompted it. I have no idea. I was just like, Tim, you're here. We're excited you're here. This is where we're sitting over here. I'm in the air.
Yeah.
I'm in the air. By my drones. In front of
That
all.
is crazy, man.
I honestly I normally would want to take the side of the youth pastor, but I have to say, like,
That's crazy.
No.
Somewhere
I think
right
it was
now,
a prison
he's-
thing. I think it was a prison thing. He's like, no, if I do this, I'll be cool with all.
Then
the
I'll know
kids.
Yeah.
all the other kids will know not to mess with me.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was already a large. He was a large, like football player kind of coach
Dude,
kind of
yeah.
guy. Anyway,
That is
like,
brutal.
That's
Okay.
messed
There
up.
was no one
Being
messing with him.
Being embarrassed by your friends is one thing, but being embarrassed by the person you're excited to show up to show off to your
No
friends,
doubt. That's
all on a whole
that
nother
is
level.
worst
That's
youth
brutal.
pastor ever.
Yeah.
Somewhere he's
Tim,
out there
I don't
Tim's
know
telling
not
who
the
gonna
you
like
are.
this, but thanks.
Yeah.
He's out there like, one
That
of
was
the
a
worst things I
fail,
ever
Tim.
did. Like,
It was a fail.
My biggest fail as a youth
Yeah,
pastor is
yeah.
that time I gave that
Gave a
kid
kid
a
a
wow,
wedgie
those are good stories.
in front of the whole cafeteria.
we almost lost a soul that day. Like, goodness
Holy
gracious.
cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I have a definitely the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in school. Luckily, I had not super embarrassing stuff throughout my years. I stayed kind of to myself, but there was in elementary school. I remember 5th grade. I'm standing out underneath the little walkways where all the pickup zone is. Everybody comes to pick you up, and I'm waiting, and my friend calls me out for wearing like a new style of pants that were like the cargo jean things or baggier, I guess, and whatever. And so he's like, dude, let me see. I haven't seen these cargo pants before, whatever. And these are the kind that didn't have like a buckle or a zipper, just kind of a stretchy waistband thing,
no.
right? And so I stand up to show him, and like the girl I like is like really nearby too and stuff.
Know
Like
this
everybody's out there, like the whole school. And I don't know why, but he just felt the need to pants me in front of everyone. And so, yeah, I got pantsed in front of the entire school and all their parents waiting in line.
Lovely.
And there's nowhere to go. Like,
Were you
it's just,
wearing tidy whities? What were you?
it didn't matter.
Yeah. At that point, it's like,
Well, the
No,
underwear
I mean-
get pulled down to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. Yeah.
It didn't
Oh,
matter
yeah.
what I was wearing underneath because it,
Oh, it
all came down.
He grabbed it all.
that's-
Yeah.
That's rough. At least
Yeah.
it was not a youth pastor.
Needless to say,
yeah, that had been a different story. Mm.
Oh, man.
goodness gracious, at least it wasn't your youth pastor.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, you just made that feel way better. I'm not as embarrassed anymore. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I have so many.
Oh,
I have so
goodness.
many, but I'll just stick with the one that everybody quotes in my family. I was in college and I had transferred to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and I was about to dual major as a theater guy.
Mhm.
And so I was taking communications. I wanted to make films and do that kind of thing. And so I was like, yeah, I'll start taking some drama classes. And I was really enjoying it. I was thinking about dual majoring. Well, all the drama kids were the cool kids, and all the communication kids were the nerds. And so I'm trying to hang out with it because I'm kind of bridging the gap. So I'm trying to hang out with the drama kids and over in the theater department, it's the building's kind of divided up a little bit, comm on that side, theater on this side. And so I'm hanging out with the theater kids because I'm in class with them. So I'm trying to be cool, hey. And I'm a transfer student too, so I'm not, these guys have been going to school with each other for 2 or 3 years. And here I am like transferring in. And so I'm standing there and they're like, oh, hey, look, it's Professor So-and-so. Yeah, he's cool. They're talking about him. Like, yeah, he's cool. It's like, oh yeah, I've had him. And I was like, oh yeah, I know him. And so he comes walking up and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to be cool with this guy. He's going to come up. He's going to say something and I'm ready. Like he's going to be like, how's it going? I'm going to be like, good. So I got this whole scenario in my head.
Great comeback.
And,
Good.
I'm all like, good. I'm going to be like, cool. And so he walks up. He goes, what's going on? And I'm just Johnny on the spot, ready. And I go, good. And he just looks at me and goes, all right, I'll see y'all later. And everybody just like, it was real quiet for about 10, 15 seconds. And then everybody looked at me and goes, did you just say good?
What's going on?
What's going on? Good. And so after that, every time they saw me in the hall,
rock.
yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
rock.
And they never let me live it down. So the rest of the time I went to school there, every time they'd see me in the hall, they'd be like, good, good.
Yeah.
And then Eric's youth pastor showed up and gave you a wedgie.
Still just,
I can't think of the motivation.
I
No.
don't
Why?
either.
No.
I don't.
I'm sorry.
Why was he there?
Yeah.
Like that's the first. Why? Like, first of all,
It's gonna
why is
haunt
a
me.
grown man
It's gonna haunt me.
having lunch?
My student pastor had come to our lunch
How old were
every
you?
week. It was
How
eighth
old-
grade, man.
Man,
My student pastor had come to lunch every week.
And he's been plotting this wedgie for every week.
Maybe so.
Oh,
Who needs therapy now?
For whatever reason, it was that week. He's like, today's the day. It's like it's going.
Eric's been
It's
a little
going
too
up.
chummy.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
He's been a little
I
too
was
chummy
saying,
with me.
Oh, man.
You're about to say it's going down, but it didn't. It went up.
No,
It went up.
no,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
going
that
up.
was Raymond.
Yeah, that was down. Yeah, that was definitely me.
Can we just take a moment and say underpants stories? It was like
I know.
half
At
of
the
this.
same time, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that is I mean, people have dreams about that, right?
That's
Dude,
true.
it's not. There's
I
not.
lived it.
There's
Yeah.
not much out
Yeah.
there as a fear of something happening in
Yeah.
school that's worse than what I just said.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey,
It is one of the worst fears.
what's your biggest fear?
It's already happened
Getting
Yeah.
pantsed
in front of the entire
in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
crazy.
let me see. Was it embarrassing funny story?
Yeah.
Man, there's so many different things that I felt embarrassed. I thought was funny. I'll try to keep the same pant theme, I guess.
You don't have
Nice.
to.
No,
That's
like,
cool.
might as well stay on theme, right?
Our listeners are like, yes.
Another pant story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in band, and Sweetwater has a bowl. So their stadium is a bowl. Like
Okay.
top is street level, and then it goes down. And we were going to practice, and the gate to get in was like 50 feet that direction, and I'm like, I don't want to walk that, so I'm just going to jump the fence, and then I will walk down the ramp. So I jump the fence, and I make it, but I've said before, like I wore Jinkos,
Oh,
Big pants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and one of the belt loops caught
man.
on the fence.
Yeah.
And as I'm coming down after jumping this fence, just the butt of my pants just
Explodes out the back.
they're just gone.
just no more
And yeah, so there's this nice breeze now that's happening.
the pockets where I used to put my PlayStation is no
Yeah,
longer
it's
there.
gone.
Wow.
Luckily, there were no underwear. Not that I wasn't wearing them,
Oh.
but because it was a game day, I had shorts underneath
Oh, okay.
because
You worried
I
me
would
there
have
for
to
a
be able to
moment.
change. Yes, but it doesn't change the fact that everybody has just seen your pants get ripped off.
Yeah.
And you just keep saying but.
But
But.
yep,
But.
But.
yeah. So it was pretty embarrassing. Again, nothing really happened.
Yep.
But then after,
But then, exactly.
every time after that,
Start a tally, guys.
there's my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I had to call my parents and be like,
Mm.
please bring pants.
Please, no, please.
Please.
He was
Please
very
bring
sad.
pants
Please, we
Wow.
want pants.
for your son.
That's crazy.
I don't think they did actually. I think
They're like, you got shorts, you're good.
I think they were pretty much like,
Suck
you're
it up.
good.
Yeah.
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 So that would be one.
That's a good one. That is a good one. So, from all these embarrassing moments, did we learn any lessons while we were at school?
Oh yeah.
Don't let your youth pastor come eat lunch with you.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
said that.
Keep your distance.
Keep your distance
Keep
for
your
sure.
distance.
Is that why you became a youth pastor?
He's like, I want
It was
to.
revenge.
Oh,
No
he's
way.
plotting.
No,
way.
Just
I would
wait
never
until
do
you
that to
find
Man,
anybody.
Tim.
like I said,
Tim will
I
never
can't
see it coming.
compute. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never have I ever been like, you know what I'm going to do today?
Yeah.
I'm going to give a student a wedgie.
Yeah.
At their school.
At the school, in front of the entire cafeteria.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seems
Yeah.
like a great
Nah.
idea.
I mean, it's possible that in the course of history and traumatizing moments that I may have forgotten some details that may have spurred that on.
Like,
But
hey,
I-
Tim, when I turn around and like introduce you, wedgie me.
Wedgie me.
Yeah.
Like you forgot that
Yeah.
whole
Hey, Tim, you're a big
interaction.
fat idiot, and you're gonna sit over here.
Yeah. Something had to entice him.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I can think.
Were you
Who knows?
wearing
Who knows?
pants that said, please give me a wedgie?
Man,
like
no.
what?
Ugh, that's
No.
weird.
No.
That's crazy.
No, any more than I was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
freshman year. I mean, like I was going to say, would you learn from being in school? Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
I can remember
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
freshman
Yeah.
year going through E-Wing, and E-Wing was packed, and someone goosed me, like
Yeah.
grabbed a handful of my left cheek, and I turned around.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize anybody, and no one made eye contact with me.
Yeah.
It was just a sea of people. I
It
was
was
like,
a
Nice.
C. Yeah. They just
what's
teach
happening? What's
Yeah.
happening? That's not
Okay.
fair.
yeah.
You. Yeah, that's see, most of the lessons we learn in school, guys,
Head on a
nothing to
swivel.
do with what's in the books.
Yeah.
It's how to survive.
I
guys.
learned not to
Yeah.
care. Like I learned not to care. I just don't care. Like I'm going to do whatever I want to do. My junior year, I wore a waffle to school around my neck on New Year's, or I'm sorry, on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care. I learned to just like, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Like a
I'm gonna
real
do it.
waffle?
a real
Yeah.
waffle.
Like you cooked
A
it and then put it
legit
on your.
waffle.
Yep, a
Yeah.
legit waffle. And on the back of it, it said April Fools. And so people would ask me, hey, what's up with a waffle? And so I'd come up with some crazy story
Yeah.
and then I'd flip it over and be like, April Fools. And so it was fun. But people after that, I became waffle boy for at least a good year.
You brought it on
Hey, you're
yourself.
waffle boy. I did,
Hey.
but I did not care.
But-
I don't care what any of these people think.
It was
So-
good.
Oh,
On that
I
note,
should
that's
not
what
have
we
told you
like
that story.
about our
No, I'm
podcast. That it's good.
It's good.
No.
That's good.
Oh, something I learned from school. That is important as things seemed at the time. Not important.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
so
good one.
true.
Yeah. There were so many things that I lost sleep over or was so
Mhm.
worried about, embarrassed about, whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, man, none of that mattered.
So true. So true. Kids
Yeah.
learn that lesson now.
Yeah.
It
Honest-
doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I'll even just throw mine out the door and ditto that because school can be exhausting. And not even the book learning part of it. We're
Sure.
talking about
The survival aspect.
Yeah, survival, the relationships, the drama, and all the stuff that you get sucked into. It literally does not last, does not matter.
Yep.
Remove yourself from it. Do whatever you can. Find a hobby and a skill that furthers you in your life that actually does matter. Stick to that. You'll be better off.
Learn what you can and move on. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it does not matter. Yeah.
Yes.
Those people that think that they're cool, you're not cool. I mean, seriously. And 2 years out of high school, you're going to forget who they even are.
Yep.
And you're going to move on. And
I mean,
it's
I'm
true.
still not cool, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
That's
been
what I
told a
feel.
day in my life.
Let me just tell you though, nerds win. Nerds win in
Usually.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know that kid wouldn't. I know he was not cool in school.
Whenever you said nerds win, I immediately thought of the movie Benchwarmers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If anybody's seen that, nerds win, guys. Anyways, this has been a wonderful trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
I guess.
Painful. Bumpy.
Yeah,
We're going to make a shirt
It's been brutal.
with, with the young Eric dangling.
Yeah, dude.
Draw that up.
It
I'll buy
started
it.
off with the world's worst
my
segue to world's worst wedgie. I don't understand how we got there, but guys, this has been Back to School with the 4THOUGHT podcast, and we will check you on the next episode. Peace out.
Later.